This video is for Cooper and Alexis and anyone else in Craig Manorino's group who contacted me about getting started in trading. Now, this platform I have up here is TradingView. TradingView has a free version and paid versions. I recommend the paid versions because they're worth it, but only get them when they are on sale because they do ridiculous discounts of about 70% off annual subscriptions a couple times a year, and it's completely worth it. But start out with a free program and just basically get your strategy going. So here's a general layout of the platform. You can have your own watch lists on the side. You can select your time frames, candle types, or if you want to do a line chart, you can. Indicators, if you go into the technical section here, these are going to be pretty much standard on every website, and a lot of brokerage firms and crypto firms are starting to use TradingView charts, so it's always good to get used to TradingView. So if you have a strategy, great. If not, I recommend doing things like starting with the very basics of 200 period moving average. You can do it on the daily or the weekly chart. And my computer's lagging yet again. For some reason, when OBS is running, my computer slows way down. Anyhow, on a weekly chart for the S&P 500, we have the 200 period moving average here. Very simple. Above the 200 period moving average, we're bullish. Below, we're bearish. We break it down to the daily, the same thing. We had that big dip last year, and that's just a little blip you can see right there. You can decide whether or not to use traditional moving averages like the 200, the 100, 50, the 20, use EMAs, but basically any moving average is probably the easiest way to get started on things. I'm very big on Bollinger Bands, especially the 50, and normally I do a default of one standard deviation just to get an idea of where I am. But again, play around with what you like, what works for you. With one standard deviation of a 50 period Bollinger Band, you can just go ahead and look and see, okay, everything that's above the top Bollinger Band, we're in a bullish trend. If we drop down, it might be a sell signal. We can see if it continues or whether or not we go up further. Play around with that. Once you have a firm idea of exactly how you want to trade, whether or not it's moving average crossover, whether or not it's based on the candlesticks and breakout, and again, there's thousands of YouTube videos to help you along. You can try it on different brokerage platforms. This right here is Robinhood. And Robinhood has this Robinhood Legend now on a desktop platform that I've been playing around with. As you can see, with two Bollinger Bands and a bunch of moving averages, you can set up a pretty decent looking chart. And the graphic interface really makes a difference for what you're looking at and how smoothly things happen. A big thing for me is do not trade on your phone, do not start charting on the phone, do not do anything with the phone if you can help it. If you want to take it seriously, look at a desktop, look at the full chart, and see the bigger picture. There's only one person I let chart and trade based on what she sees on the phone, and that's because she's extremely hardworking, and I'm willing to do anything to make her life easier rather than harder. Everyone else, my clients included, no. But over here for silver, we have long-term Bollinger Band. This is the 175 period moving average. You can use a 200, doesn't really make a difference. I like the 175 personally. It works on a lot of things. Followed by a 50 weighted moving average and also an EMA with an 8 period. it doesn't really matter how you chart and which way you chart your ticker. You just want to have something that clicks in your head. When you look at this, you can see, okay, right here, this is where my short's going to be, or over here, this is where I'm going to close out, and this is why. You want to know exactly why you're getting into the trade, why that's the area that looks good that you're getting in, and why you're getting out. Another platform I like to use is Thinkorswim. This is under Schwab now. It used to be TD Ameritrade. They have this on-demand feature, and on-demand essentially lets you backtest based on date. So you can go back years and backtest your strategy to see, is it actually profitable? Is there something you can do better? What's going on with that? So you could do a spot trade on that, or it's going to show the stock, it's going to show the quantity. You can have an idea of, okay, I only have $500 to work with. What can I buy? Or I want to learn options. What's it going to be if I just get a single call option here? So you can play around with these without having real money at risk. And I highly recommend this. I'm not really a fan of their graphic interface here. I think Robinhood and TradingView is a whole lot better. But one thing I do like is that I can chart options right next to the stock. So if I want to really profit on where an options price is going with a small account, I can limit my risk knowing ahead of time if I'm buying a call or if I'm buying a put, exactly what my risk is ahead of time. Then I can chart and see where it's going. And to do that, you just basically uh, right click and then you can send it to one of these colors here. So you can send that option chain out. And over here, they call that lilac. I don't know, I'm a guy, I don't do colors. But anyhow, you can trade the options. You can look at the actual ticker chart and see exactly what you're doing. So if you're trading spot, you're trading options, you're trading futures, it helps to be able to back test in a real time environment. Most back testing you're going to find is running on the normal stock hours, but they'll have about a 15-minute delay for things, and this just lets you mess with it if you work another job or if you go to school. You can mess with this on weekends or your free time and basically have your market hours in all at once when you can fit it in. If you had a really good trade or a really bad trade, you can go back and review it later as well. It's extremely helpful. I think I have too much stuff up and not enough RAM. Another free source of information I like to use is called Koyfin. This sort of works like a Bloomberg terminal as far as getting you the information you want to see. They have free accounts and they have paid accounts. I just use the free account, honestly. You have an overview of the indexes, an overview of everything else going on, global yields, currencies, everything. You can have cliff notes of market news, the little things under the locker, uh, paid news, but you get the general idea of cliff notes. So you can get top news, global, corporate, etc., etc. One neat feature they have here is you can choose like the S&P 500. You can look at what the market movers are for the day. When you're getting started in the morning, you can look at pre-market movers too and see, okay, what's moving. The changes 18%, then you can go back and try to find out why. Same thing with post market. You can find out exactly what happened during the day. Analytics has an earnings calendar. So if you want to know why everyone's flooding into one stock this week, you can sometimes see, okay, well, we got an earnings event on Tuesday. And you can go back and find out, did they make it? Did they beat it? Me personally, I stay away from earnings. I don't like dealing with it. It's a lot of a gamble, and it's just not how I trade. I'm purely based on technicals. Another thing in the analytics tab here is the economic calendar. This is important to know for jobs data coming out, FOMC meetings, and essentially anything that could cause any type of market movement. You'll pretty much find here. Like you got Fed speech right here, 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the Fed talks, the market listens. But going back to Thinkorswim, a lot of times I'll do things like use an 8 period EMA to be a trigger point in my trades. What's cool about TradingView is you can go through and we can add the MACD to the chart. I have two relative strength indexes added. For my own eyes, I like to just change the color around so I can see things. It's hell getting old. What's cool about this is for things like RSI, you can change the source so you're not using the close, you can use the open, the high, the low. For this, I'm going to change it to the EMA. So that's going to use the 8 period EMA that I already have in my chart as the source for the relative strength index. And rather having all this choppiness to look at, I've basically smoothed it out just to make it a little bit more manageable. That might be helpful when you get started. But take a look at all these. If you have questions, I am happy to answer. As always, you can go through my Substack and contact me. On Greg's channel, you can contact me. And on Twitter, you can contact me. So if this helps or if you have questions, let me know.